Hi, I'm Spencer Dinwiddie, guard from the Brooklyn Nets, and you're watching Ain't Hard to Tell.
All right, welcome to the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, episode 22. We are back. Dexter Henry along with Brian Fonseca, and we have the whole crew is here in the house today. We got our executive producer, Matthew Faniza. Matty P is here too, rocking the Spider-Man shirt, looking pretty fresh. You guys will get a look at that later. We have a director of photography, Lewis, is here.
Yeah.
He's been gone for a while.
He's dressed like he's going to church.
He came from church.
Yeah, I know.
Before he did this.
I know.
I will pray for him.
Damn.
Nah, but everybody's good. How you been, man?
Yo, all right. Let's get into it right away. So
Actually, let's not. I just asked you to be nice, but I don't really want to get into it. I'm joking. He get really hurt when somebody shuts you down. It's like, nah, I didn't really want to.
I didn't get hurt. I was just staring at you.
No, you look kind of hurt.
I
saw a twinkle in the eye.
No,
is it a tear?
That's a bag. That's what that is.
Oh, okay.
I'm tired. But what's it
All right,
called?
so tell us why are you tired?
So I was covering the ACC and Big East tournaments this week. When I got back from Pittsburgh, and
well, yeah. Speaking of Pittsburgh and the ACC tournament, I'll get into that later.
No, you can do it right now.
Oh no, I have nothing to say. Did we win a game in the ACC? No, so I have nothing to say. Moving on.
Well, you apparently fired your coach.
Yeah. Wake me up when they hire somebody good and the program's back on track.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say.
Rick Pitino, Larry Brown, holla.
At Pitt. All I'll say is my team didn't play hard this year.
Okay, so what's it called? And I wanted to get into this because, working in the media as we do, eating healthy could be a uphill battle.
Oh, yeah.
And so yesterday at Barclays Center, all week really, I mean, they had all the food and things like that, and Barclays Center does a great job with this. I was just annoyed yesterday because, and I understand, like, we have the ACC tournament, so a lot of reporters and media, whatever, they're coming in from the South. Next year, they're going back to Charlotte. And
this is going to be interesting.
They had, for the food spread, they had mac and cheese, what they call Southern mac and cheese.
Who made it? You know how I feel about that. It's about who made it. I'm just saying.
Look, I don't know, but
all right, they had Southern mac and cheese. I would say you can't go wrong with some mac and cheese, but you can mess up.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yes,
you can mess. I tell people you can mess up anything. Like people are like, oh, you can't mess. There's people who can mess up a sandwich.
Yes, you can. But I was asking some of my other reporter friends. Who I know there, like Gerard Hector from Black Sports Online, Anthony Rushing from New York Sports Day.
Shout out to those guys.
They're obviously black, so I was deferring to them.
Oh, you say black people know about mac and cheese?
Yeah,
I know a thing or two about mac and cheese.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all will know more than me. Like, if there was rice and beans there, you come to me for that.
Well, no.
You know
I will say the black person whose roots are in the South and has the traditional Southern style mac and cheese.
Also friend of the show.
I'm going to trust their opinion on that more than even me.
Yeah.
Because my roots are Caribbean, so I was Southern. Yes, I will agree with that. But
they had to complement that, it was Southern fried chicken. It was like buttery, you know what I mean? Which was actually good, which is a problem. It was good. That's a problem. They had chicken tenders too, that they were buttery and stuff like that. But it's all this fried food, so I'm just like, bro, I don't have a healthy alternative here. Like, there can't be like Southern mac and cheese and grilled chicken. You know what I mean? There can't be Southern fried chicken and then like grilled chicken to the side, or mac and cheese and some kind of like, whole wheat pasta or whatever. Like, I was pissed off about that. And then when they have desserts, they have mac and cheese bits. You ever had mac and cheese bits before?
They never heard of it till now.
It's like it's some sort of fried breaded thing over it, and then you bite the inside and it tastes like mac and cheese.
All right, so here's
it was actually good too, and I was like, yo.
I'm sure it's good.
And I woke up today, I was pissed off when I woke up today, man, because I was like, oh, I feel nasty. You know what I mean? Because you know how I eat. Grilled chicken, smoothies, things like that, roast chicken, whatever. But that stuff, that really annoyed me.
Well, here's the thing.
I was just like, because I can't get a healthy alternative.
The mac and cheese bits, the mac and cheese bits thing to me is they just OD'd with the mac and cheese. Like, that's just too much mac and cheese.
Yeah.
How you have mac and cheese in your main course, really as a side dish, if you want to say. Yeah. You got mac and cheese
and green
for
beans
dessert?
too. Green beans were there too to make you feel a little bit better about yourself, even though they were. So you know how it is, buttery, oily, like.
No, I don't know how it is. I don't eat that. Well, I don't make my green beans like that.
No, but in restaurants, that's kind of common. You know how to.
Here's my thing. Generally, when you I will say that what the meal you just described was about probably one of the most unhealthiest meals I've heard as far as working in the media.
And I left this out. They also on the side inside the media workroom they have a spread of snacks. So it's like pretzels, not like the Madison Square Garden long salty pretzels. By the way, all that said, their food was a little bit better than the Madison Square Garden stuff. But anyway,
it has been for quite some time.
But
I will say, sorry, so I gotta step it up.
So and they had ice cream bars.
Okay.
They had Starbursts, which I had a few of, Skittles, M&Ms, Milky Way.
Oh, Jolly Ranchers?
No.
Oh, they messing
surprising.
up.
Snickers.
Gotta bring the Jolly Ranchers.
Snickers and maybe Three Musketeers. Like it was just a whole bunch of I was like, yo, what are you trying to do to all of us, man?
I mean, here's the thing.
Because I actually care about not a lot of these guys do. Because you see a lot of them walking.
Well,
around.
that's the thing I was going to get to. When you are working in sports media, and I think we should talk about this when we have some other journalists on here, is that it's hard to eat well, especially when you're covering a lot of these games or you're doing something like the ACC in a short period of time. You basically get pretty crappy food options, and your best option. You talked about what you're supposed to do. It's like eat before you get there. Try to eat healthy before you get in the arena. But if you're there for a bunch of hours, it's very hard to do that.
And what are you gonna do? Leave, pay $30 for a burger and like a side and a drink and come back?
I mean, depends where you are and what you want to go.
Mean? Like,
there's not at some places there may not be as many healthy food options for you around. I think that generally when we're at Nets games and other places, the media dining generally, for the Nets is pretty good.
They had the Southern the Southern that stuff. They had that at a Nets game before, and I was annoyed about that. But other than that,
so they clearly were catering to a lot of the schools in the ACC that are from the South, and they're catering to that base. That's fine.
Keep that down there.
Listen, hey man, don't be hating on the mac and cheese. If the mac and cheese and fried chicken was good, I'd probably have been unhealthy as hell that day.
I was, yeah. But I'm like, and
then you woke up today feeling like crap.
But I kept telling myself, like, you know what? One time, even though it was 3 days, but like, because the day before actually was fine because they had steak, and their steak was all right. It was medium rare, which we know who they were catering to on that one. But what?
It was medium rare or medium?
Medium rare. That's very different.
Yeah, it's different.
It's too pink.
Yeah, can't do that.
It's too like.
I had medium or medium well.
Wait, hold on. Pause. How do you like your steak?
Depends. Medium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matty P. How do you like your steak? Medium?
Medium, yeah.
Okay. Lewis?
Medium well done.
Medium well done, he says.
It's medium well. There's no such thing as medium well done. They're two different things.
Well done.
No, it's kind of like it has some color, but it's
that's called
it's
medium well.
Medium well, sorry.
Medium well done.
Thank you for your
I also want you to go to a restaurant and then you say,
No,
can I get
medium well, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't you work at a restaurant at one point?
A
Cafe. It's kind of different.
So it's very different.
And you're medium?
I will do medium or medium well.
Same.
Generally, I'll do that. I am not going below medium. You getting a little too close to raw for me.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not with it.
I don't like medium rare, man. But yeah, it was good. It was pretty good, except like you got to eat it quick. Otherwise,
All right.
you can't really do much.
I mean, it's tough. I think it's tough, and I think people might not know that about being a sports journalist. That sometimes the hours and just being at all these different places and the food options are not necessarily the greatest. You can get into some bad habits. And look, a lot of sports journalists, sometimes as you alluded to before,
they enjoy it.
They enjoy it and they ain't really caring about it.
You gotta,
the folks,
I try to be disciplined, which I usually am. It's just there if it's the only option and it's like I don't feel like paying for stuff. They had shrimp tempura. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I like shrimp tempura.
They had that for dessert, which is really good. But I was like, damn, like fried and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta stay away from the fried foods. It's hard. This is hard to do when you're working in this industry. But if you care about your health the way Brian and I do, your options are limited.
And that's why when I came here today, I was like, I'm going to the juice shop. Shout out to them. They're not far from where we're at.
They ain't a sponsor yet.
But
Juice Shop, you want to get shouted out again, you can be a sponsor on the Ain't Hard to Sell podcast.
Yeah, we can take that up with them.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I had a smoothie there, and it had kale, spinach, parsley, peach, pineapple, orange juice, and hemp protein. I had to cleanse myself from the last few days of being.
I don't know, man. The amount. I mean, how many ounces of that did you have?
The smoothie?
Yeah, what size was the smoothie?
Medium.
Yeah, it looked like a medium.
Looked like a medium.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need more, right?
I'm like, you probably need more to cleanse yourself from all the mac and cheese
I'm having a healthy dinner tonight.
Yeah, all right. Well, you do that.
Just keep drinking water.
There you go. That's how you cleanse yourself.
There you go. You can buy that mug at tpublic.com.
There you
buy
go.
this mug at tpublic.com.
There you go.
Along with these stickers,
Those
this
stickers.
shirt,
That's right.
Wow.
books, all that stuff. We don't need to do more shit.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta definitely cleanse yourself. So, hey,
But yeah, that food was rough, man. Like
all right. Well, are you feeling better now? That's what we need to know. Do you have the energy?
Well, I'm kind
now?
of tired. I'm kind of tired.
That's definitely because
people don't also know,
and,
like people.
yeah.
You know, they see you at all these events, but they don't recognize how much like you're actually working
And
while you're
not
there.
and not sleeping.
Yeah, and especially when you're a writer, you know, people aren't reading your stuff like that unless you're at New York Post or something, because you know people are writers, and you know, so you write a lot of stuff that will go unread, but I'm writing a bunch of those things.
You can't worry about it.
I'm writing a bunch of those things, and I'm a little tired, but I'm good.
Just keep doing your thing, Brian.
Tomorrow's
Gonna be good. Tomorrow's gonna be good because I'll write a couple things, and then I'm playing 2K for the majority of the day.
I haven't done that in like 2 months. I haven't done that in like 2 months.
Hopefully, I'll catch up on some other podcasts who I will not shout out. And yeah.
I mean, I have no problem giving love to another podcast. That I don't have a problem.
I'm gonna catch up on.
But
I'll probably catch up on Drink Champs. Yeah.
Yeah, playing video. Haven't done that. That's how busy I've been working.
And
on a
this
bunch
week,
of stuff.
we talked about boxing last week. This week, Felix Verdejo, Christopher Diaz.
That's right.
They're in town. So if you're Puerto Rican and you're looking for who's next, those are the two. They'll be fighting on ESPN Saturday. I'll be there at the Embassy Theater. They have media workouts on Wednesday at Mendes Boxing Gym. So
Puerto Rico.
I'm looking forward to that. Felix Verdejo is supposed to be really good, but he's had a couple of. He had a motorcycle accident. Then he allegedly fell in the shower. He had a shoulder injury. So it's like, you know.
Sounds like he should stay away from the ring.
Yeah.
Or stay away from everything. Put him in bubble team or something like that.
It's wrap around a bubble.
But he's very talented.
Speaking of boxing, before we break, we both, and you were there, you were at the Deontay Wilder Luis Ortiz fight, which we spoke about in the last podcast. You were there at the fight. I was texting you during the fight.
Okay.
While you were there.
Wait, we didn't talk about this yet?
No, because we talked about it before in the last podcast.
That's right.
So I'm bringing it up because I'm like, how good. I know we both talked about this via text. But I'm sorry. That was a fantastic fight. It was very enjoyable. If you were looking for, this is good. That's as good as a heavyweight fight. I mean, obviously the Klitschko Joshua fight was up there, but
Amber,
this was really good.
Amber, who was also there in attendance, texted me. Amber, friend of the show, she was on our 8th episode,
something like that.
She's been a Deontay Wilder hater. I'm going to label her as a hater.
Yeah, you know what?
She came around.
She
came around. And
she had to after that
she was like, I gave him his props. Like he's, you know.
Well, here's the thing for those people who listen.
I'm sure she still
watching,
thinks Joshua will win in the fight between him and Wilder, but you know, and people do think that. I can't knock that for thinking that, but they're saying that hey, Luis Ortiz is showing and weakening Wilder and almost knocking him down and almost winning in the 7th round. That kind of shows Wilder's weakness. But then Lou DiBella's argument is the one I agree with, where he says
that shows the strength.
Wilder coming back from that.
I agree. I see. That's how I look at it. That was more impressive to me. And for everybody who didn't hear what Brian just explained, Wilder looked like he was on his. If you didn't see the fight, he looked like he was on his last legs, like he was going to go down. And this guy showed the fortitude of just. I don't even know. Whatever you want to call it. This fortitude was so great. His resiliency, bouncing back and knocking out Luis Ortiz and finishing him off with the best punch that you can finish somebody off with, which is an uppercut.
Right uppercut.
I mean,
out of nowhere.
You might as well put like the Ryu Sharuk into it. Like, that's how good it is.
Jeff, friend of the show, Jeff Armstrong, great photo.
Yes.
That he took of it when he was in the photo booth there. Yo, it was great. I couldn't even explain because like being there live. and just actually like being there while it was happening. I was in the media section and I got up out of my seat. A bunch of us did as that was going on.
Look.
Like we were standing up, not clapping necessarily. We were just like, oh my God.
hope not.
I did a couple. yeah, I've seen. But I did a couple Instagram stories where I was just like, yo, I could not believe like just being there for that. Like that was live. It was probably the best fight that I've seen. I've been covering boxing for like 2 years now.
You did text me that.
It's probably the best fight I've seen, along with like Santa Cruz Frampton. It was probably better than that though.
Yeah, I remember you told me that. And lastly for me is that I just watching the fight at home, I don't remember the last time I got up off my couch like that. And I was like, like everything, because it was crazy. Like, it was so crazy. That was a great fight. I think that was really good for boxing. And treat to see what happens next.
And as I wrote about real quick before we go on the break, like Deontay Wilder, he needed it to go that way, I feel like. Because if he dominated Luis Ortiz, I feel like more people would have been like, hey, he still hasn't beaten anybody. Even though Luis Ortiz, I feel like, could beat Anthony Joshua and almost beat Deontay Wilder. I feel like Luis Ortiz is that good, even though he's had like steroid problems in the past and whatnot. But I think Deontay Wilder needed it to go that way. He needed to show like, hey, I can almost get dropped, get almost knocked out on your feet.
I mean, he was
and
done.
then just come back and just boom, boom, boom. Like, and the only thing I disagree with is like the scorecards had him up around. I think they each had him up around by the time he had those knockouts, and not including the round where he had the 2 knockdowns.
I had him losing.
I had him losing slightly, but I had him losing because by that time he was kind of mounting a comeback a little bit.
Yeah, it was slight, but I had him down.
It was a great fight. I can't wait till Wilder's next fight.
Great fight. If you can watch it or the highlights, you have to watch it.
Allegedly will be against Anthony Joshua. We'll see. Anthony Joshua fights March 31st.
Look, man, the way I say
and Deontay Wilder will be doing color commentary for that fight.
Look,
Sky Sports.
Look, as I say to all this stuff, just get it done. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Tired of all the talking.
Yeah.
All right, enough talking here. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the NBA. I don't know if anybody's looked at the NBA standings right now. They are crazy. The West is insane.
Yeah.
Nats Jazz are trying to fight for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
The East is tight and crazy. Lewis knows the Knicks are nowhere near the 4 seed, as we all know. You have that hope, please.
And the Nets, who we both cover, have fallen to being one of the worst teams in the NBA for a 3rd consecutive season.
Yes, and we'll talk a little about baseball. Why baseball is continuously corny with an issue that's going on with one of the Braves players. Some other stuff, including O.J. Simpson, Tiger Woods dominating at a recent tournament. We'll talk about all that when we come back on the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. What's up, listeners? You know sometimes how it can be hard just to get from point A to point B. Now, when I have to get anywhere and I don't want to deal with the hassle of public transportation, it ain't hard to tell how I get around. I always make sure to use the best car service app in the game. I'm talking about Lyft. Lyft offers rides in minutes. All you have to do is download the Lyft app, request a ride, and you will be on your way quickly. Lyft is all about happy riders and happy drivers. Take a ride with them and you'll see why 9 out of 10 rides end up with a 5-star rating. Lyft always has amazing offers for new customers, and I'm here to tell our listeners about a great offer today. Lyft is currently offering free ride credit to Ain't Hard to Tell listeners. If you are new to Lyft, then you are eligible, and getting your credit is easy. All you have to do is download the app and use the promo code AHTTPOD to unlock your free credit today. Ain't hard to tell who has the best car app service, so use the code today and ride out loud with Lyft. The best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting, and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk and share their views at the intersection of sports and society. The entire first season is now available on Backpack Broadcasting's YouTube channel and backpackbroadcasting.com. See what other sports fans have to say about a variety of issues in the world of sports. Watch all 13 episodes from season 1 and take the Sports Walk today. All right, Ain't Hard to Tell podcast, episode 22. First episode, we talked about trying to eat better when we're out working at sporting events. Not the first episode. First segment. I don't remember what we talked about in the first episode. I think it was like NFL, hypocrisy, and some other stuff like that.
Damn, that's a throwback.
Yes.
We've gotten.
It's not that long to call it a throwback.
It's not 22 weeks ago. It's actually half a year ago.
Everything's a throwback. Somebody takes a picture 2 weeks ago. It's like, yo, throwback.
Yeah.
Nah.
I have a throwback waiting from the ACC tournament that I'm gonna post at some point.
Oh man. But we talked about that and a little bit about the big heavyweight fight that was last week. NBA has been very interesting.
Yeah.
This season. It's interesting because this season everybody spoke about how, the Warriors are the best team, and I still think they are.
They are.
But they're going to run away with this, blah, blah, blah. It's not good for the league.
A lot of people rooting for Houston.
Houston's been phenomenal. But you look at the competitive balance, if you want to talk about that, and it's been a very competitive year. I know you have Houston and Golden State up top in the West right now, and they both are pretty much in a virtual tie. Rockets, at the time we record this podcast, with a half-game lead. The Warriors are one back in the loss column. Both have 51 wins. The next team after that is the Trailblazers. They're 11.5 games behind that. So it's going to be Rockets or Warriors for the top 2 seeds.
Yeah.
But if you look at, in the Western Conference, from 3 all the way to 10.
Matt's Utah Jazz
are sitting in 10. There is a 4-game difference between those teams.
And the Blazers have a 9-game winning streak. That's the only reason they've gotten so high up there. Because they were back where like the Clippers and the Spurs
are.
Yeah.
The Spurs are in 7 right now.
And Damian Lillard should be an MVP candidate.
But here's the thing. This is so crazy. You are 1 3-game winning streak or 3-game losing streak from, you could be as high as 3 or you could be down to 7.
Yeah.
You could be, if you're in 6, 7, or 8, you're a 3-game losing streak from being out of the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
The Jazz, who we talked about at 10, they are half a game. They're technically in a virtual tie with the Nuggets for the 8th spot. The Jazz are right there, who've played excellent. The Jazz are now 6 games over 500. Does anybody remember when the Jazz were 9 games under 500?
Matt does.
I do.
Yeah. Does anybody remember when I actually was teasing Matt for a while about missing Gordon Hayward?
You still do.
You still miss Gordon Hayward.
I haven't brought it up in a while.
But you definitely still
I
miss
don't
Gordon.
miss Gordon Hayward.
If you had Gordon, actually, never mind.
I don't know. Maybe if they had Gordon Hayward, they might actually have the same record.
Yeah, but never mind.
You want? Can I?
He's
spit,
injured. Like,
can
I don't know.
Can I spit some jazz facts?
Oh,
Jazz facts.
Can I spit some jazz facts?
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
let's-
bad show about the Utah Jazz.
Let me just. All right. Well, this could be my. This could be. What did he say? This could be my 2-minute segment right now, or not even. Donovan Mitchell is now the fastest rookie to 150 3-pointers in all of the NBA history. Donovan Mitchell, fastest rookie to 150 3-pointers.
Okay.
Jazz are on a 10-game road winning streak. Take note. That's important. Third thing,
I see what you did there.
the Jazz City jerseys are the fastest selling Jazz jersey in Jazz history. They can't keep them in stock. They can't keep the Jazz jersey in stock.
I don't
So
think
does mean they're
I've
good.
ever been a fan of anything the way you're a Jazz fan.
What do you mean? Me?
That's not true.
That is not true. I could name
Say Freddie
That's
Gibbs.
not true.
Say Freddie
That's
Gibbs.
true.
Go ahead.
I didn't say it. Matt said it. And
Freddie
Matt said it
Gibbs.
for me.
I can say it.
No,
I can say
I don't
it.
have Freddie Gibbs facts off the top of my head.
Yes, you do.
That
What
is
are you
a
talking
complete
about?
lie. That is
Oh, man.
Not ready to go.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Brian, here's the thing you do. We can say anything, and you can be like, I can say cardboard, like, yo, Freddie Gibbs put that in his lyric on this song on that album. Like, you'll do that. You'll do that. Like, you know it.
Nobody knows obscure. See, and that's different to me because that information is a lot more obscure than the facts that you got, which is probably from watching a Jazz broadcast,
Yeah.
or reading something about the Jazz. Well, we're not talking about no damn Freddie Gibbs fandom.
No.
I'm talking about that. We all know what you are.
But yes, the
You
West
just need
is
to be
interesting.
accepting of what
He
you
put
are.
out a snippet the other day.
The
That's
West
all I'm
is
gonna
the
say.
West is so crazy right now.
It's crazy.
Brian, I'm going to ask you. You look at these standings in the West. Who do you think? I think more interesting. Who do you think's in trouble? Who do you think is not going to make it? Do Matt's Jazz have a realistic shot? I mean, they got a shot. They're half a game out. But
They
can
have a
make the
shot.
playoffs?
I'm a little concerned about Minnesota just because. Well, I mean, we'll see with Jimmy Butler. Like,
I think that's a legit concern.
he's working his way back, but
Yeah.
I think that's a concern. Denver, I'm not so sure. And the Clippers, I just never really had faith in them like that.
I don't, but I don't. And I was watching them last night play against Orlando, and they were struggling with them until the fourth quarter.
I really like that Houston is just, hey, we're just gonna put up a lot more threes than everybody else to try to mess with the math that Golden State, because Golden State obviously has the most talented team, but I feel like Houston's figured out a way that is sustainable for, say a 7-game series for whenever that happens. I think that, I don't know. Some people are out here theorizing that, hey, it doesn't quite matter who gets that extra home game, who gets home
For
court
Houston, it
advantage
does.
for the Western Conference.
For Houston, it does.
I think for Houston, it does. For Golden State, probably not as much, but I do think it matters, and I do think it's worth talking about, and I do think it's worth watching. I would like to see Houston get that, home court advantage, because I feel like it would be more interesting, but I don't know if that's going to be the case.
We'll see. I think it'll be interesting how it plays. It'll be interesting what the Warriors do in the last couple games if they rest people. The Pelicans have played really good basketball too, probably along with the Jazz and the Blazers that have surprised some people. I'm with you. I'm a little worried about the Timberwolves without Butler because they're also still not a very good defensive team.
Yeah.
And the Spurs is reportedly supposed to get Kawhi Leonard back this week, so I think that's a boost for them.
But it also might say, he might not be right to the playoffs.
He might not,
It's been a funny season for
they
us.
have enough time to work him in, and they still play very hard. You saw the other night against the Warriors; they played them very tough. In fact, they had an 8-point lead with 4 minutes to go and lost that game. This is without Kawhi Leonard, so they're still tough. Now,
Do we care about the East?
yes.
Okay.
Don't under. Now, the difference in the East is pretty much. Look, I think that the 8 teams are set.
I agree.
All respect to Detroit and the Hornets, but
Yeah.
I think both those teams are done, especially the Hornets.
And it sucks because I wanted to see Kemba Walker in the playoffs.
The Hornets lost to somebody bad.
I wanted to
night.
see. I wanted to see Blake Griffin in the playoffs. Like, they have players that I actually want to see.
the Pistons, just to me, they don't look like a playoff team right now. They've had some bad losses. They're now 5 games behind the Bucks for the 8th seed. They've been disappointing.
And they can't win on the road.
They can't win on the road. They're 9-22 on the road. So the same thing with the Hornets. But look at 3 through 8 in the East. All those teams are separated by 3.5 games. That's another situation where, hey, winning streak here, losing streak here can really move you anywhere. Cleveland only has a half-game lead over the Pacers, surprisingly, for the third
Who now
spot.
have Trevor Booker.
Yep.
Former
Phillies played extremely well since adding pieces like Ilyasova and Bellinelli. They've played really well, and they've moved up.
They'll be in Brooklyn the night we're recording this.
I think Miami is, Milwaukee's been disappointing this year. I think you got all this talk about Giannis early on, and then they've been really disappointing.
Yeah.
I think the way this stuff plays out is going to be very interesting.
Firing Jason Kidd did nothing.
No, in fact, I think they're only 1 game better than they were. I think they were 2 games over. Or there's 3 games. I think there were 2 games over the firing.
Not that I thought that was going to fix a lot of things.
No, I didn't think so.
I'm sure that he needed to go because whatever their circumstances are, but
right,
whatever.
So I think where
Knicks suck, Nets suck.
I think the races are interesting. The tanking races are interesting. You got 9 teams pretty much trying to lose as many games.
Yeah, let's
as they
talk about
can.
the bad team.
I think it's a very interesting time in the NBA. So these races through the last, what are we at now? 15 games.
Does anyone in this room care about the Toronto Raptors getting a 1 seed?
Yeah, I do.
It's kind of
You think that matters?
Yes, for
Yeah,
them.
it does.
I think they could lose to Indiana.
Nah, not this year. No, I think people. I think they
Anything's
still have.
possible.
I still think they. I think they still
Don't hit
need
me
to.
with anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
Anything's
But
possible.
I do think
We'll
that
talk about that off air.
I do think that this year they have a lot to prove still in the postseason. But I do think Toronto's different. I think their role players have really stepped up really well. They've developed some good young role players. I think it's a different mindset with the team. I've watched them close games better. I don't see them getting.
I don't think that, but with me, it's like look,
I think people aren't respecting what they're doing. I think
because they keep going to the playoffs and underachieving, and that's what happens.
and
when
that's
you go to the
fine.
playoffs
And
underachieve after a while.
think
that
their
happened
team-
with Indiana when they were good before
Yeah.
Paul George left. So I don't, and I like DeMar DeRozan. I really like Kyle Lowry. I like Toronto, but I just think they're done in the 2nd or 3rd round. And I think Cleveland's gonna go to the finals again.
I mean, they could avoid playing. They can avoid.
They have awful defense. I know.
They can avoid playing Cleveland.
And Cleveland's still gonna find them. The Eastern Conference semifinals or finals, they're
Well, they
gonna
would-
still find them.
They could, but I think the Raptors. I think things are a little bit different for that team this year. It wouldn't shock me if they have a better showing in the playoffs.
I think they could take Boston. I think Indiana could take them, and I think they could take Indiana. Like the only team that I'm confident that will get out of the East now is Cleveland. After not being confident before, but that's because they made all these moves that I feel like are actually going to pay off next month.
We'll see. We'll see.
And
I saw Kevin Love coming.
And
back.
they have arguably the best basketball player ever. So, arguably. Yeah.
I say no.
Larry Nance.
Yeah. All right, that's enough. That's enough NBA. On to baseball. You brought this. This story.
Matt was like,
it's like who? It's like Larry.
I should have
Nance?
went J.R. Smith there.
No, you should. No, you should have said Joe Ingles.
Wait. We never got to talk about the soup thing.
Oh. Well, I don't have much to say on that.
Me neither. But I just wanted to.
Other than one of the things that I feel like nobody's asked about that I want you to know, like if he threw the soup on his assistant coach.
What soup was it? Oh.
Was the soup hot or cold? And where did he throw it on him?
I want to know what soup was
face?
Because if it's like Campbell, then all right, whatever. But if it's
is it chunky with like the extra 30% meat label that he put there? He's got like, like,
is that good? Is that soup good?
It's okay.
I don't know.
I mean, like, but what made you so mad to throw soup on somebody?
Because it's probably all he had. Like, yo, you piss somebody off enough to just look around and reach and then just, chuck whatever's is there.
Bottom line, doesn't matter. Hot or cold, what type of soup is
hot matters.
It's disrespectful. Either way.
Hot matters.
Either way, it's disrespectful.
What matters?
If the heat, the
if
temperature
it's hot,
of the soup matters.
You said pot?
That could be a salt.
No, if it's hot or cold, it matters. So I'm saying.
I even pot. Like,
I know.
No, so what I'm saying is, I mean, damn, like if somebody throws hot soup on you, they really didn't give a damn.
Yeah.
Like, you ever had hot coffee spill on you?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind
that
of
could be considered an assault of a deadly weapon, couldn't it?
It could. And that's what I'm saying. If it's hot, that person
That's
really
true.
gave no damns.
I think if it was hot, then we would have heard
dams. More. Yeah.
Which is why I think
you wanted to say something else, but it's fine.
Which is why.
dams.
Which is why I think it wasn't hot.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't really throw cold soup on somebody. It's kind of whack.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna throw the soup, you gotta make it hot.
Yeah.
That's true.
Throwing cold soup, nah.
Yeah, you might as well have thrown ice cream on them.
Yeah.
Some people like ice cream being thrown on them.
Yeah.
You ever seen that in like? Never mind.
No.
Where have you seen this?
Where have you seen that? I've seen people go to drive-thrus and then get the ice cream cone and then just smash it all over them. I've seen that.
All right, do we care about O.J. Simpson's murder special?
Wait. Real quick, before we get to that. Last week after we recorded our last podcast.
Save that.
Okay, I'll pass on that. All right. Brian.
That's the next segment.
I won't say Brian had brought this to my attention, but I saw it actually last night. No, I saw this last night. OJ, you're not the breaker of all news. I did see last night.
Yeah, I'm not
watching that.
Ask Diallo.
Or other people try to take credit for it. I did.
That
see
wasn't a shot.
That was just facts. I did see, and if it was a shot, deal with it.
Truth hurts.
I did see last night that there's a special. What's called O.J. Simpson murder confessions or
something like that.
Something of that nature. Yeah. Basically, some taped thing with OJ.
It's another version of if I did.
If I did do it, which everybody's like
the tell-all version.
The tell-all version
instead of the book. Now it's like the video instead of the written version.
I have one question about this.
One.
I only have one question about this.
Okay.
Really?
It might be my same question.
Who in the world is gonna watch this? And have
the dude who from OJ Made in America, Nicole Brown's father, who said that for the rest of his life is dedicated himself to making OJ's life a living hell. He will be watching. Other than that, I can't tell you.
Have we been OJ'd out? We had the
been OJ'd out.
We had the FX
for so long.
Yeah, we had the FX series, which was fantastic.
I feel like after OJ Made in America, it probably even before that, but I feel like because the reviews were so good, people were like,
no, but think about this.
And they went deeper. Like
you had the FX series, which was fantastic.
OJ Made in America,
and then OJ Made in America, which was really good too. Which I didn't finish the last two episodes, but what I watched was fantastic.
You gotta finish that.
Now you have this. Who? This one I say all the time. Who asked for this? Who said I want to see this?
Say that about
really is
things.
Dexter's line. Though.
Who asked for this?
I can say that about so many things.
No, I say that all the time. Yes. What did I say about when we talked about somebody coming to America too? Nobody wants that. Who wants that?
I'm still laughing that the guy dressed up as Prince Akeem to go see Black Panther. I don't know if you guys seen that picture, but I
have.
It's great. It's honestly great.
Who asked for that?
Yeah, it's like culture too.
On that note, many people asked for that, and I don't know why.
Yeah, a lot of people asked for that.
No, they did not. They just asked for it when they saw it was coming out. They were like, "Oh my god, I'm ready," and that album's trash. Anyway, OJ made an American. OJ,
I don't care. I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
If you sound like you might watch it.
Hell no. I'm not. I got work to do. I'm not.
I can kill.
I'll put there are NBA games on tonight that I could put in the background of. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's tonight that we're as of recording this. This is coming on tonight.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know when it was coming on.
No, Selection Sunday is my big.
Oh, that's true. That's
today.
true.
I don't care about anything
Today,
else.
as we're recording this, today is Selection Sunday for college basketball.
Yeah.
People out there.
March 11th.
I can care less about this OJ thing.
Villanova, Kansas, Virginia will be number ones, and somebody else.
Like, and if you're watching this for in some way to say, oh, maybe this will give me some insight or make me think that OJ did it. Look, you already knew what the truth was. I'm gonna leave it at that. Moving on to segment 3.
Take note.
Our third segment. Take note. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about Odell Beckham, why he might be in a little trouble because of a 7-second video.
Yeah.
Ronald Acuna, Braves player, and his hat style and why it's pissing some people off.
I'm the Ronald Acuna of sports writing.
Okay. Royce the 5'9", who actually brought a great freestyle to Hot 97 after the two people that followed Black Thought didn't bring it at all. And Logic, the rapper.
Whoa. Wasn't one of them Nipsey?
Yeah, he didn't bring it. And Logic.
Well, you like his album.
I do. I'll get to that too.
A lot to get into.
And Logic dropped a mixtape last week, which I never cared to listen to again. We'll talk about that and much more when we come back on the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast.
Sports Guru is the place where fans talk about sports via video. All videos are 60 seconds or shorter. Sports Guru makes the video look more professional and fun by adding automated on-screen graphics. You can follow your favorite sports by team, trending, new, or by people you follow, and more. Type in the title of your video and it will auto-magically go into your on-screen graphics. It's just that simple. Tag your teams and publish sports. Let's talk sports.
It ain't hard to tell where to get the latest merchandise from Backpack Broadcasting. Gear is now available via TeePublic. Visit the Backpack Broadcasting TeePublic online store to get shirts, hoodies, mugs, and phone cases. Represent your favorite Backpack Broadcasting shows, including the Sports Walk, Sideline Stories, and of course, the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. Check out the special offers for our podcast listeners at http://t.pub/lic/backpack. Get in the game with your official Backpack Broadcasting gear today. All right, welcome back to the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. Thanks for sticking around with us. A lot going on in the world of sports. People making other people mad. Athletes in trouble. What is the world coming to?
Oh God,
that's my movie. That's my movie trailer voice. You don't know if something's gonna happen.
Not your News 12 voice that you allegedly have.
Yeah. Wait, who's that? Always says I have a News 12. Who says I have a News 12 voice? Our guy, Matt Nestoria. Yeah. Your boy, Matt Nestoria. Dexter speaking in your News 12 voice. Yeah.
And then Matt's
he's gonna cut this clip. He's
Matt over
so
here.
Happy that
Matt over here ran with this because he's been calling you Dexter Henry from News 12 for months.
You know what? If that's how you want to introduce me,
it's funny.
That's fine. But I would prefer Dexter Henry from Backpack.
I was gonna say that word for
word.
We'll
do it one day. Well, the HTT pod.
I would prefer that a lot more.
Co-host of the Ain't Hard to Tell podcast.
All right.
There you go. Anyway, a video I've surfaced with Odell Beckham.
Yes.
For those who don't know, New York Giants star wide receiver.
How would you not know it?
Ramen hair?
What'd you say?
He's got ramen hair.
Yes.
It's like ramen.
Dude who made the catch.
Yep.
Dude with the hair. Dude who dances.
So there was a video that went viral this past week, and it showed Odell Beckham with a woman whose name is Laura Suenza. I apologize if I mispronounced her name. And he is, what you see in this video, it's a 7-second video, so it's very quick. Odell Beckham is on a bed with this woman. They both are clothed. There's a box of pizza. It looks like Odell Beckham.
They're clothed in that video, though.
Yes. It looks like Odell Beckham might have been holding a blunt. And then there's a credit card near in front of where this woman, Miss Suenza, is sitting. She's an aspiring French model, if anybody wants to know what she does. And it looks like there's a powdery white substance near the credit card. So there is a sort of insinuation that Beckham and her may have been doing some drugs together.
That cocaína.
And in the video, you can hear Beckham sort of maybe alluding to her getting involved, should I say, with another woman.
Yeah. Basically, that, it's like, what does this video say? The video with audio of Odell Beckham with blunt in hand pushing a chick to have sex with someone else. We can say all that
as
here.
the French say,
right?
And that pizza looks trash, by the way.
Yeah, no, it does.
That pepperoni pizza looks.
It's definitely not.
Whack.
It's definitely not the Journos.
I don't know. It might be
the Journos.
I might have.
Now the woman
preferred pizza.
The woman did go onto
reasons.
Instagram, and she did say that, quote, no, he did not take any drugs.
Obviously.
So
all right.
What else are they gonna say?
When is the model gonna be like, yeah,
right?
We whatever.
Yo, he's getting high.
I snorted mad blow. You know what I'm saying? And then we passed around this blunt. Like, nah, come on, man.
That's not gonna happen.
Right.
I never say blow. That's weird.
Now, I was shocked at that.
Yeah.
Now Beckham did come out. I don't remember if it was Instagram
That
or
nose
Twitter,
candy.
but
All
he
right,
said that hey, the media. He kind of insinuated that the media is running with this, and this is old news, so almost insinuating that we don't know when this video came from. Is this problematic for a guy who is looking to land a long-term contract with the Giants and already has a lot of people who scrutinize him so much for his actions?
Yes, because in the NFL, you know how the owners are, and them and the players are always on different sides of the spectrum. And Odell Beckham he doesn't look like Jordy Nelson, so they're gonna hold that against him too. And frankly, I don't care, because I'm like, if he wants to allegedly do coke, eat pizza, and smoke blunts in the off season, then it is what it is.
Yeah, but you also got to think as an employer, they're not.
Oh yeah,
ain't nobody's trying to see that.
That's crap, bro. They're not gonna do crap to him. He's the child of the Giants for right now, so he's fine. He's perfectly fine. Everybody's stressing. He had some fun. He's gonna just chill out. Literally, I haven't heard much about this situation, only briefly, and now it's already fading away. If it did happen a long time ago or recently, no one's gonna care. They'll only care if during the season, if he does pay like crap.
Hi, Lewis. How you doing?
Well, we introduced that Lewis was here before.
Damn,
I'm
just like, at the end of the day, like, no. Like,
I was like, what voice was this? I haven't heard in a few weeks.
At the end of the day, he is an athlete.
voice of Lewis.
So they just do what they do. I mean, I'm not saying it's right or.
The voice of Lewis is a good name for a segment.
Maybe to be that was arrogant. He's not, doing right above. Like, he's not being a good example to kids or something like that. But no one's gonna care as long as he plays good on the football field. No one's gonna care.
I mean,
we need imaging. For the segment, the voice of Lewis.
The voice of Lewis.
I do think what you're saying is right to a degree. I think most of the fans aren't going to care, except for the fans that actually already hate Odell Beckham for a myriad of reasons.
Yeah.
I do think Odell Beckham though has
they
to
don't
think
like diva receivers.
He has to think. Almost every receiver is a diva receiver, but I think that Odell Beckham has to think more about his image and who he's around. He's putting, and it looks like he didn't know he was being filmed. I keep telling people, man, if I was an athlete in these situations, nobody's bringing phones in my room.
You gotta be Derek Jeter, man.
Nobody's bringing phones in my room.
Confiscate that before you walk into my mansion.
Yep, absolutely. You're not having your phone on here.
Not that they all have mansions.
But
no, in all seriousness, I think this is a little problematic in terms of just like the optics of it. But again, he didn't know.
I don't think it's gonna matter.
No one's
gonna give a crap.
Is it his fault though? To your point, because he didn't seem like he knew he was being recorded.
Yeah, but you can't.
And I'm sure he
didn't want. There's responsibility. You have to take control of the situations you're putting yourself.
But like
into.
at the same, but for him I don't have any problem with him doing anything he's doing there, except for the fact that it got out. He needs to be smarter about like who's in the room with him. What do they have in terms of like, because everybody's a photographer now or videographer now.
That's right.
So you have to be cognizant of that.
Which is why
everybody's a photographer, a videographer. Not everybody's a good one. You point it at yourself. I'm like, no, you have to.
I was gonna say, excuse me,
Yeah.
Don't disrespect people who actually do.
They're making, yeah. No. Just like everybody's a journalist now when they're really not, which we've talked about on this podcast. But anyway,
I mean,
Odell's still gonna get some kind of money. He's still gonna get a lot of money if he plays. Like if he plays this upcoming season,
nobody cares.
If he plays this upcoming season like the way he did his rookie years, like they're not gonna.
Nobody cares.
They'll be all right.
No,
as long as he makes some catches nobody's
A
gonna
lot
give
of
a crap.
catches.
Yeah,
he's
he'll
gonna
make a lot of
Royce a
catches.
lot.
The Giants don't have much to cheer about, so they gotta cheer on what's his name.
Hey, they got the second overall pick.
We'll see.
I mean, you'll see. That's what I'm saying.
I
You
might
never
get
know, but-
Saquon Barkley. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's
We'll
true.
we'll see.
I know you want him on the Jets, but.
It's not.
My
gonna
friend
happen.
went to Penn State and he knew him a little bit.
Ugh.
Apparently.
Hey,
He
okay.
said, because Penn State, not Saquon
Yeah,
Barkley.
yeah, not because of Saquon Barkley. I have
Yes.
nothing against him.
Saquon
Just
Barkley's
the
super
mention of
talented.
Penn State just made my stomach turn.
All right.
Anyways,
Acuna.
in baseball, Ronald Acuna pissed off a lot of people because he wore his
But
hat.
not us. Not us.
Not us. Pissed me. I'm happy for him.
Yes.
Because he wore his hat up a little bit over his hair. He's a lot of hair,
Yeah.
sort of like Pedro Martinez used
So
to have.
Matt, it's like if you wore your hat, like just above your head, or above your hair, because you actually have hair that comes out. You know what I mean? Ronald Acuna has like dreads, like baby dreads.
Yeah.
So he has the hat over his head just like that. And what the Braves organization was telling him, I believe it was the Braves organization, they were
is the
telling him
Braves.
that they want him to wear his hat the right way. Whatever that means, we know what that means.
Yep.
Basically, folded like a regular dad hat, like a baseball cap, and just just have it here like every other baseball player, because we as Latinos, as minorities, we can't be unique in anything. We're not allowed to be.
Well, and so the Braves responded, and
You
somebody.
should have seen me at the ACC tournament this week. I had a fitted on the entire time, next to people with suits. I'm like, we got here? We're in the same place.
You're from New York, though. that's that New York grind,
Yeah, you had
Brian.
some Timbs on.
I do no. I didn't. I had Air Force Ones. I mean,
Hey,
come on,
that's
New
very
New York. Air Force
very
One
New York.
NYCs.
Very.
So I do that at other games too.
Man, I'm
Shoot.
trying to think. Who's the guy?
At
in the-
Liberty games, I had a
the
T-shirt
guy-
and joggers.
Who's the guy on the Yankees? Their pitcher who has their hat on the side. Adrian Beltre doesn't wear his hat straight. Also,
The dude with the
Yeah.
Michael Pineda.
Michael
yeah.
Pineda.
Oh, he's
Michael-
stupid though. He's stupid though. I think he's a stupid player just
All right,
with
we-
the two-part time.
We ain't got to do that.
Well, I'm just saying because he got caught twice
We're
with the
trying to
whole
support one
part
another
time.
here.
The whole part time.
Yeah, but
The whole
look,
part,
no, but here,
the
but
time par. I mean,
the thing to me that bothered me with all of this is there's always, and we've talked about this before, and you talked about in your episode of the Sports Walk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which you can watch now.
You can
on
watch.
YouTube.
You can watch now. Season 1 is out.
season
now.
1, episode 1.
Season 2 coming soon.
Soon,
Actually, no.
very very soon.
Episode 1 or episode 2?
Episode 2.
Episode 2, Brian.
That'll be
Episode
great. Episode 1. You can watch that
Yeah.
as well. Anyway.
Yeah, please, watch them all.
I think what bothers me is that there's this culture in baseball of telling people who are minorities, especially Latinos, how they should be, how they should play the game. There's a certain way and they respect it. We saw Ian Kinsler's ridiculous comments last year after the World Baseball Classic.
It's not even
And-
just baseball though.
and-
That's my big issue.
But it's
with
not just baseball. And I had that argument with somebody on Facebook who proved to be an idiot and was trying to argue with
Shocker.
me. Yeah, shocker. I
it.
try not
You
to
gotta get it. Yeah, you gotta get out
So-
of those Facebook.
Yeah, but
arguments.
you know what? This person, I posted an article and this person tried to come
I'm
in
surprised you have time for that.
and actually change what the article was about. I'm forgetting the author who wrote this in the Daily News, but he had an op-ed piece basically saying that the racial politics of baseball will lead to its downturn in interest. To
Which is already starting.
to which I agree, which is that if you aren't making your game more inclusive, if you aren't allowing more cultural expression within your game, I don't think anybody, as generations become more diverse, are going to rock with that at all.
Amen.
This person didn't want to hear that and say that has nothing to do with this, and this person is saying that this. It was a whole bunch of ridiculous arguments. But
Does the person fit the average baseball fan?
oh,
demographic?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, and
Okay.
that person is the average baseball fan demographic that's older and doesn't want to see anything change.
Okay.
And that's part of the problem there,
That's-
right? So that what the response
Same
to that
with football.
didn't
Same with
shock me.
basketball. Like.
And my thing is, look, I'm not gonna stay on this too long because we have to move on. But let
Yeah.
Acuna be Acuna. Now the Braves tried to say that this is the way we have to. Our players wear their hat. In our everything, our team logo must show on the hat at all times.
The offensive team logo, by the way,
Yes, that too.
which we
Yeah,
talked
it's
about.
a hatchet. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's about a part of Native American culture.
Yeah, we talked
It
about
is.
this probably a
We
month
talked
ago.
about it a month ago. Maybe we should probably get rid of all these Native American team names
Yeah.
and just get away with it.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, they want to put that front and center.
Yeah.
That's all I have
They're
to
not
say.
gonna have a team
The,
named the Atlanta Arabians, so they probably shouldn't go Atlanta
Yeah.
Braves. I'm just saying.
The whole hat thing is Let the guy wear his hat. Ken Griffey wore his hat backwards. Like
Ken Griffey was somebody who I think he spoke out about this.
Yeah.
In his defense.
okay,
Yeah.
I got
And a lot of
makes sense.
And a lot of kids of all different cultures, including myself, was a huge Ken Griffey fan growing up.
One of my favorite players
Loved Ken Griffey for that. We
Yeah.
loved the expression of him doing that, and it was dope.
Japanese ball players really bend their cap inwards. If
Yes.
you guys ever watched some Japanese baseball,
yes.
So like they express
Right.
themselves that
The
way.
Korean, everybody watch any Korean baseball?
Yeah.
The Korean
Which is
baseball
fun as
players,
hell.
It is so
they
fun.
have the
It is
sickest
so
bat
fun.
flips ever.
Yes.
But here in this country, God forbid somebody bat flip, they're going to get beamed.
Yeah.
And a lot of times,
How much time do we have? Because I could spend.
No, we don't have enough time for that.
we don't
We
have time
got
for that.
kind of time. All right, fine.
Moving on.
I'm gonna invade a sports walk episode.
moving on from the cultural expression.
Jesus
In
Christ,
cultural expression in hip hop, we saw Royce the 5'9", who will have an album dropping with DJ Premier on the 16th that I'm excited for. Prime 2. But Royce got a call from Funkmaster Flex, legendary DJ at Hot 97. Got a call to come up and spit some bars. I knew he did it the night before. I saw him post something on Instagram, and then I woke up in the morning, so the freestyle was there, and I listened to it, and I liked it.
Sidebar: I wish all it took was a call for us to get people up here, but you know. Anyway,
In time, young Fonseca.
In
time.
In due time, young grasshopper.
In time.
Patience.
you could tell who's the more patient one between the two
Patience.
of us.
Yeah, this man here has no patience.
Not brilliant.
I do have patience.
Do you?
Yeah, to some degree.
Did you like the? I thought the freestyle was fire.
Royce the 5'9" is one of the greatest ever at that.
At bars, pure bars.
Yes.
You want bars? You're gonna hear from.
Hashtag bars.
You're gonna hear from me. Now, conversely, as excited as I was about that freestyle, and I thought it was good. Now, I will say it was not the Black Thought freestyle. Black Thought's freestyle is like here,
I ain't
and
gonna do
anybody that had to follow him, it was tough. The people that followed him was substandard, and I think that's why Flex. Somebody told Flex, like, "Yo, you got to bring in somebody to bring some heat," and Royce the 5'9" brought some heat. He's probably either my second or third favorite that hopped on these Hot 97 freestyles in the last year. After Black Thought, Sci-Hi the Prince was also really good too.
I really like Joe Buttons.
Joe Buttons was really good too.
I like Vince Staples. I don't know if it was part of this.
What's his name was really good too.
Vince
Vic
Staples did
Mensa was also really
yes,
good.
and Vince Staples did an off-the-head freestyle where he kept repeating a phrase that I could not say
Yes.
here, but it was great, and it was hilarious.
So that
But
was
Royce the 5'9" is an all-time great at that. We are very excited for Prime 2, and yeah. That's pretty much all I can say.
Now,
I have hard copies of Royce the 5'9" albums in my crib. I have Street Hop hard copy. I went to the store and actually bought that.
No,
and
can we like go to his house to actually verify that he has?
Oh,
copies?
we'll do a podcast from the crib.
He
one
has
time.
no collection.
We can do
guys.
that.
We're gonna have a podcast from the crib. We got a little bit more time now. A little more things open up because some things
That's
are slow.
true.
You know what I mean?
This is
So
true.
we got time.
That's true. I just want to
Street
verify
Hop
the collection.
Street Hop, the first Slaughterhouse album. Death is no, not Death is Certain. Success is Certain. I got hard copies of all that.
You still got your CD player and everything, or you got rid of that?
Yeah,
Maybe I
you
might
still pop it in the
somewhere.
CD
I
player?
don't use it.
Oh, okay.
Boombox.
I remember using that CD player a lot for Doctor's Advocate Killer Season 2
Damn.
of all
Killer
albums.
Season 2.
No, Killer Season,
Showing
just
your
Killer
age.
Season.
Oh,
not Killer
okay.
Season 2.
Now, as good as Royce the 5'9's freestyle was, another rapper dropped a mixtape last week. That maybe some of us here were. I don't know if we were so excited for it, but the Logic, who, if you heard anybody, Lewis,
All right, Lewis.
yelled trash.
Get in your
Lewis,
back.
we're
Lewis,
gonna get
wait,
the
before-
voice of
before-
Lewis has returned.
Before we get into the voice of Lewis, though, you struck me, Lewis, as a Logic fan. I know you're a fan of Logic.
I
I
like
respect
Logic.
his ability. I don't know where Matt stands, and I don't think Matty P cares. So
Maybe he's like, he's not
So
Spider-Man.
I'll give a little bit of backstory first, because as you said, I am a fan of Logic. So when I first started listening to hip hop, which was not that long ago, Dexter actually told me to listen to him. Actually, no, not you. One of my close friends told me to listen to him.
and that was
No,
when he
you actually
started-
told me to listen to Logic's
Right,
first
and
album.
then it was
on the
when
first-
and that was when you started listening and kind of coincided when his best project dropped.
That was his first one, his first
Okay.
album. And I listened to
first album, yep.
Yeah,
that
and I
Under
listened to
Pressure?
J. Cole's
Under
Forest Hills Drive 2 around the same time because it came out.
Forest Hills Drive 2 is a classic.
So so those are like the first two albums I heard, and I liked them.
Albums?
I don't know.
I liked him, right? And then overall, his music, I was like, all right, first album was great. I was like, oh, this is great. Kept following him. I was like, all right, this next one isn't that great. Then he had the little mixtape. I was like, it's a little fun, but I'm not a big fan. Then he puts out this.
Wait, you're forgetting about, what about Everybody, last album?
Oh, I forgot about that one. I forgot.
Well,
He did
that's not a good sign
He did,
right there.
he did what was the
Everybody.
No, but the one before that.
Bobby Tarantino mixtape.
The actual
The
album.
Incredible True Story.
The Incredible True Story. That one was okay, and then
That one you liked.
Everybody was. There was like 3 good songs
Mediocre.
that I actually
It was
like.
very- it was
Yeah,
very
it was.
mediocre.
I could
Which
listen to
I
it.
said from the beginning, and not everyone was on board with that thought.
I was like, it's not bad, but I said I could understand like some people who didn't like it. However, when this one, for some reason, I was talking to Dex about this. Like, I want him to come out with something good again because the Bobby Tarantino album mixtape wasn't that great, the first one, and it had some kind of like trappy beats that were cool and everything. But overall, I felt like he was declining. So then I was like, oh great, he put out another Bobby Tarantino album. So I was like, it's probably gonna be more mixtape, whatever. It's gonna be more of the same trappy.
Now it's like.
So when I heard 2 songs, and I literally was like, I don't care. I just don't care.
It was.
I actually sat
I
there
don't
and
care.
listened to the whole thing.
Now you
To
listen.
give it an objective.
I listened to.
Man, it's
you know,
when it's
I
trash,
listened
it's
to-
trash.
I'm a journalist, all right?
I listen. I listen to every. Yeah, but you don't have to torture yourself. I listen to. I listen
Wow.
to every
I can't
track.
believe y'all are taking these
No,
shots.
no, no.
crazy thing, 'cause
I'm
you're
not
the-
I'm
taking
not
a
a big-
shot.
I'm not a big
I'm not
Logic
taking a
fan.
shot. I'm not taking a shot. But what I'm saying is, I listened to it in all the tracks, but there were tracks I did not get past 40 seconds of, that were just so bad production or the hook that came in.
It sounded like a
and it was-
SoundCloud beat, like
There
a
were
really bad
couple-
SoundCloud
There were
beat.
a couple that I stopped early. There were a few
I'll pretty
beats
much
where I
stop
was like,
everything
and you know what my thing is with Logic is, and we mentioned this before, but he has developed, or not he, but there's a fan base for him, obviously, and they're very, very, like, he has one of those he can do no wrong fan bases. Not everybody has that, because there are people in hip-hop where if they put out something whack, people will speak up and be like, oh, that person put out something whack. But Logic has developed a, you know...
He's a people's champ. He's a people's champ
Yes.
rapper.
Yes.
People like what he came up from, how he built his crew by himself, and I champion
Yeah.
him for that. But this project, in one word, is trash. I have no interest. I have no interest in ever listening to this again.
Yeah.
I have zero interest in ever listening. The best song on there was, I think, the track with Wiz
Wiz,
Khalifa,
yeah.
which is surprising because I'm not a big Wiz Khalifa fan. I liked the production. I liked both of their verses. It sounded like something that could have went on a
Production
Logic
was great
album.
on that song.
Even though we got
Yeah.
this reveal that Logic now smokes. Logic has come across to me in the last 2 projects that he's released, this mixtape and his last album, as somebody who's trying a little bit too hard. One on the Everybody album. He's
That's what
trying
that was my takeaway from the Everybody
he's
album.
trying
And I
to-
said that from the
Yeah.
beginning.
He's
Bit too
trying
hard.
to appease everybody, and now he's trying to. It seems like he's trying to show everybody, look how cool I am. I can rap on trap beats and talk about nothing, so I sound like I'm the Migos. So he's trying to do
Yeah.
all that,
Yeah.
and it's like you are a substantive rapper, and I understand experimenting and having fun with things.
Yeah.
And I thought in the first Bobby Tarantino mixtape he did that, but in this one, I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, I made money, and like I got a Grammy, and like I'm married now, and like look at me, and women still want me, but I love my wife, and it's like, yo, I got you, bro. I got you.
No, he's trying to actually.
No, he's not doing it maturely. I think there's a way to do it. I just don't think the music is good. I
It's
like
not.
Logic.
No,
Logic
it's
is a
not,
talented.
Yeah.
Logic is one of the most talented people in the game right now.
And it's not.
But
it's
these
not,
projects are not good.
It's not even that he's rapping over trap beats either, because like people that I really like, Freddie Gibbs, Kendrick Lamar, Vince Staples, they've rapped over trap beats, but they do it really well and still have something to say over them. And with Logic, yeah, again, he's developed one of these fan bases, so the reviews, at least from fans, are like, oh, it was great. And we have to get into this part where he clapped at Joyner Lucas and gave him a few bars after Joyner Lucas has accused them of stealing in the past, which is not the first time Logic's been accused of stealing an idea. Freddie Gibbs had his little issue with him before, but they've seemed to pass that up. But Joyner Lucas accused him of stealing an entire concept that Logic apparently later used to make that 1-800-Suicide Hotline song that features Alicia Cara, who I love. But that song is, you know, it's all right.
I've started to get a new method of testing hip hop rap albums, and it started with Culture 2. As soon as I play,
Why would you start there?
because
not the
here,
place
let me
to
start.
You're
Let
setting the bar really low.
No, let me
man.
start. The way because I hate that album and I hate all of Migos' albums. I hate all their music. But Culture 2, I played the first song a minute in, didn't like it. I skipped to the minute in on the second track, sounded exactly the same. Went to the third track, minute in, sounded exactly the same. I did this for this album, Bobby Tarantino 2. First track has that intro, that skit, cool. Second track, sounded kind of the same. I let the whole song play through. However, when I got to the third track, I skipped a minute in, sound the same. Fourth track, sound the same. 5th track, I think that's the Wiz track. Sound completely different. I listened to it, great. 6th track, minute in, sound the same. Production has to be a little bit different on each track. I mean, he's trying. And what's with the auto tune?
Yeah, he did that.
Guys,
on
what's
tracks.
with the auto tune?
Nah.
It depends. Like
Sometimes it can work.
Again, yeah, I've heard. Again,
Not here though.
No.
Like, yeah,
Not here.
I've
Not
heard
here.
artists who I've liked use auto tune, and
It works.
It sounded good. Like Dave
T-Pain.
East did it. Dave East did it on
Well,
Paranoia
it's all
on Found a
T-Pain
Way,
can do.
and it was one of his best songs. What?
I say you said T-Pain, but I'm
said
like
T-Pain.
that T-Pain
You
kind of
said-
that's all he did.
that's all
Although
he did.
T-Pain can actually sing.
No,
People
T-Pain
know
can
T-Pain can
actually-
actually
And he
sing.
can actually rap.
Yeah, T-Pain can actually sing.
But
He
yeah,
didn't
no,
need
I
it.
feel
He could
like
buy you a
auto-tune-
drink.
Auto-tune, I used to be like the super. When I was in high school, I used to be the super backpack dude, and I hated auto-tune. And it
Hashtag
wasn't because
backpack.
Jay-Z made DOA or anything like that. I just didn't like the sound of it or whatever. But like
still
when
don't care for the
Kanye did
sound.
it, it was okay. Dave East has done it. I've liked it. Freddie Gibbs has done it. I've liked it. I think Kendrick has experimented with
GIBBS
auto-tune
Gibbs.
A
before.
little bit, yeah.
Royce the 5'9" did it on a hilarious song on Street Hop. I'm trying to remember the name of the song. Oh, So Far Away. He did that, and it was hilarious. And he's just like kind of mocking or whatever. He's done that before.
One
But
last
yeah.
thing I got to say is that if you're a true fan of an artist you support and you're not being 100% real in the work and you
Word.
don't and even
Yeah.
I understand like whatever, but I'm a big Metallica fan and I can name you 3 of their albums I think are 100% trash.
Saint Anger.
Oh my god, Garage Rock Inc. Garage Rock Inc. Dude, bro.
See, but
like-
no, I agree with
I
that.
could do
point.
that with artists I really
But
like.
here's the thing: you gotta be real with yourself.
Like when American Dream came out and Kendrick Lamar's verse came on with Jeezy and J. Cole beforehand, and Kendrick Lamar just did like a bridge to end the song. We were both like,
But see,
That's
that it was trash. I just wanted more. That's the difference. It wasn't like
no, but with me it's like, yo, come on, man.
it was like
If J. Cole-
why have B on there as a feature? I don't.
Yeah, and it's like if J. Cole's coming out rapping, I don't want to hear Kendrick Lamar bridge.
It's not a bridge if he's even at the end.
Yeah, you're bridging to the finish.
Yeah, I
Like
guess.
Here's the thing:
Whatever.
like
a second hook. I
as a
don't know.
fan, you don't want to say it sucked, but it's okay to feel disappointed.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
feel to be.
Yeah, I'm not even It's
It's
trash.
not even that,
be-
though, but like
yeah.
I'm not a fan.
When
so I'm gonna say it
Nostradamus came
sucks.
out. When Nostradamus came out. Or for me when I and I don't think this is as bad, but like
Oh my god. Nostradamus.
yo, and for those of you only listening on iTunes or Stitcher or whatever, Dexter's just kind of just staring blankly
Yeah.
into
I don't like to think about that album.
He's
It doesn't exist to me.
He's pondering
It
about
doesn't
that
exist
time
to
of
me.
his life.
Like-
I think about the time I bought that.
He bought that
Yeah,
CD,
like
right?
when
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
when Nas dropped Untitled, I didn't think it was like a great album. I was keeping it real. I thought
It's,
like
better,
oh,
it's better than Bobby Tarantino too. I'll
Yeah,
tell you that
no,
much.
I
A
don't
lot
think
of things
Untitled's a
are.
bad album, but it's you know, for Nas, you hold him to a certain standard. It's like it's okay. Like
Look, we'll leave it to that. But if people want to let us know in the comments, let us know what you thought
just
about.
like I'll be
Bobby
objective when
Tarantino too.
I'll be
Yeah.
objective when Bandana drops.
All right.
You kinda
Well,
do.
well, you keep believing that.
Yeah, comment below.
I believe you'd be objective.
I would.
Brian.
Oh wait, no, it's a
Remember-
project with Freddie Gibbs. Nah, I don't believe that.
I would. Yes, I would.
I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know. If Brian's a true journalist, he'll be objective.
I would.
Well,
Yo,
we'll know soon enough.
We'll talk off.
know.
We'll talk off air.
We'll know soon enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully.
Wait, real quick. Do you care about Tiger Woods?
Yeah, I
And
care
his-
about
and
Tiger
his
Woods.
resurgence this
He's still
weekend.
playing?
Yes, I would like to see. Yeah,
still
he had a resurgence this weekend.
I don't know.
He was playing at what tournament was he playing in again this weekend? I forgot what tournament he was playing in. Doesn't matter.
one
he was
of
playing,
those.
he was
I
playing
don't
in a
cover
PGA
golf, man.
tournament.
That's one of the only sports I've never covered.
No, he was playing at Valspar. He's playing in a Valspar.
Oh, that one.
And now his odds to win the Masters are 10-1.
Really?
Because he shot up. He was leading after 3 rounds, going into the final round. We'll see. The tournament will be done by the time we finish recording
he was
this.
tied for second at some point today, I think.
Damn.
Yeah, so he's strongly there in contention.
I wish it was a major.
I am
That's
a
my
Tiger.
only thing.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, Masters coming up in a couple weeks, so we'll see. I'm a Tiger Woods fan.
Yeah.
I've always been hoping he could bounce back and get healthy and at least show us
Yeah.
his thing's greatest. I don't know if he'll ever break the record. I still want him to.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So Tiger Woods being back in contention to me, I'm just happy for him and happy to see somebody else in golf. If Tiger Woods is still in contention in golf, makes golf great again.
And it makes America great again.
Oh my
I
god.
won't go that far.
No, I don't.
Anyway,
American sports, at least.
so go Tiger Woods. for all the people who listen to Bobby Tarantino too, listen to something else so you can have some good music.
Listen to
in
Nipsey
your
Hussle's
ears.
album.
And real quick before we go, did listen to the Nipsey Hussle album, which Brian's talked about.
I made him a believer.
And it was solid. It was a solid listen.
Nice.
I was very impressed with it. I called Brian. I talked to him about it. I told him I was impressed in it.
And you work out, right?
Yes.
So
If you need workout music, you need gym music, Nipsey Hussle's album.
Nipsey Hussle.
I don't think Matt's gonna listen to that.
You never know.
But you never know. I didn't think I was
I
gonna
hope
listen
you
to
listen to it. Just don't repeat some of the lyrics.
I never repeat the lyrics.
it. Okay. Anyway, I will say this: Nipsey Hussle's album, much better listen than that Bobby
Dipsey
Tarantino
Hussle.
too.
Dipsey.
Dipsey Hussle.
It is a great album.
All right, well,
that
that's
note.
it. Another good episode. Had a lot of stuff to talk about. There will be more things going on in the world of sports, news, entertainment.
We are going to start now that events have passed over a little bit. We're going to start being more active on social media and
socials.
such.
Follow us.
You know what I mean? So follow us on Twitter at AACT Podcast.
That's right.
On Instagram at AACT Podcast. We are going to be making announcements. We're going to be having some guests. We're going to be going full speed.
It's a lot of good new backpack things coming up really
Real
soon.
soon.
We've been waiting internally. We have been waiting for this time of the year for a long time, and I'm kind of saying this
Since
hourly
September.
right now. Yeah. So
Since we
now,
first started
now's
the
that
first
time.
episode.
It's go
Yeah.
time.
Now's the time. So we're putting the pressure on ourselves, and we're
Yeah.
gonna deliver.
Ain't no
That's it.
pressure on myself. I always
That's it.
deliver.
That's it.
Mm.
They-
I always deliver.
I got that same mentality.
We always deliver.
We always.
All right, that's
do
that.
it.
That's a wrap for episode 22 of Ain't Hard to Tell podcast.
2 terms.
Be sure. What did you say?
Oh wow.
What did he say?
He said, unless I'm logic and I just fell,
Oh,
fail.
man.
Should have said that. Man.
Voice of Luis, everybody.
Yeah. And voice of Luis, some words of wisdom.
Luis.
All right,
Yeah.
don't fail like logic. Episode 22 in the books. We'll be back next time with you guys on Ain't Hard to Tell podcast.
Take note.
Victory lap.